is Liz Partsch,
And I'm Rachel Wagner,
and welcome to Farm and Dairy's Weekly Rundown.
where we're going to recap the biggest stories of this week.
Yeah, I got some good stories.
Okay, who wants to go first?
I'll start.
Okay.
Currently, our reporter Paul Rowley is leaving the courthouse where he received updates on the arrest of Ruth Miller, who is an Amish mother who is accused of killing her 4-year-old son at Atwood Lake in August.
Aye.
Yeah, so to give everybody a quick refresh, if you haven't been following along, Miller threw her son into the lake believing she was acting on divine instructions from God. And then in September, Miller was indicted on 7 counts, including 1 count of aggravated murder and 1 count of murder and felonious assault. So that's up until we are now. And then today, on September 29th, which is today, we're filming this, Miller was denied bail. The prosecution also asked for Miller to be institutionalized in a mental facility, I'm assuming, but you'll find out in the article. And they wanted her to have no contact with her surviving kids. The judge did not issue the no contact order, though, so it sounds like for now she still has contact with her children. But yeah, that's a little update that we received from Paul
Oh my gosh.
in the courthouse frantically as he was leaving. He was there for a while, so
Yeah, and we do news stuff even though we're weekly, and it's like impossible to have fresh information.
we try.
We do our best.
I'm sure Paul's gonna bang this out until 2 a.m, and
He probably will be, and then we'll give him a little rest tomorrow.
yeah, he'll have
Yeah.
a nice nap in the afternoon tomorrow.
Okay, so that's one of the lead stories. I wrote the other one, or am writing it. I wrote it. Let's say I wrote it already.
Yeah,
As if I did not procrastinate on this.
when this comes out, you'll have written it.
Yeah, it'll be done and it'll be on newsstands.
Yeah.
And it'll be great. So I wrote a story about so it's sort of about the Wright Brothers Dairy, but it's not about them.
Oh.
So the Beaver County Conservation District in Western Pennsylvania basically made this $3 million project possible at this dairy farm and is transforming the way that these two brothers operate their farm and basically made it so that a future generation could take it over and also so they're not killing themselves doing the work to milk cows.
Mhm.
And so the way they did that is they took money that they had available from the Agricultural Conservation Assistance Program. They took some money from another funding source called Penvest, which is kind of a confusing source of money that usually does municipal projects like roads and stuff, but I guess you could also do some conservation type things with it. And then they also took money from the DEP's Growing Greener Fund, which also does water quality projects. So altogether, $3 million from these different funding sources, and they got 2 heavy use areas. So it's kind of like a barn, but it's not a barn. It's a roofed. I don't know why I'm making. It's like a roofed area. There's concrete on the bottom, and so that's where they're putting their cows. They have 2 of those buildings. They got a big manure pit. They have walkways down to their old barn because they don't
Nice.
have a new milking parlor yet. They have lots of fencing. There's like a seasonal stream that runs when there's meltwater or heavy rainfall. So that's all fenced off, and there's like riprap, which is big rocks, to slow down the flow of water. And then there's fencing out to this other pasture, and there is lots of manure storage underground, and then pumps to take that out to the big manure pit if and when they need to. It's a ton of stuff. It's $3 million worth of stuff, and
Wow, yeah, that's a lot.
and the farmers paid $550 out of pocket.
That's it.
That's it, and it was for 2. It was like for a couple permits that they couldn't get reimbursed for.
wow.
So this is like completely transformational project that was able to be done all at once instead of piecemeal over a bunch of time. And it happened basically because the director of the Beaver County Conservation District recognized the need and knew how to combine these different funding sources, or at least he knew that he could try to do it. And this was like the guinea pig project, and it worked out. So now he's trying it on some other ones, and other conservation districts are doing sort of similar projects where they're combining different funding sources. If you couldn't tell, I'm like a little bit excited about this because
that's really cool, though. That's because it sounds like it's going to be happening to could happen to other farms as well. Like this is not just about
this is like a
them.
guidebook. Like the way that this
Yeah.
happened, other people can look to it, and now they can, county conservation districts or other people can see like, oh, okay, that's how they did this. Now I think we can do that here using these different funding sources.
Mm.
And it's just a way for big projects to get done instead of there just being, I mean, grants are great and they can be, of all amounts, but a bunch of money all at once is going to make a huge difference right away.
Yeah.
And then, as things, if they're piecemealed over time, it might not happen as quickly, or might not all of it happen ever. So just to get this done. So the big difference for the farmers, like going back to that, not just the environmental stuff is great. It's going to help the water quality, and help like mud and sedimentation and manure runoff not go down into Brush Creek, where they're at in North Swickley Township. But so on top of the water quality environmental stuff, it's going to help these farmers because they were milking 70 cows in the bottom of a barn, in a tie stall barn. So the cows are basically tied up in the bottom of an old barn all the time, and they're going around and milking them. And they were taking manure out every day and spreading it every single day. So they're just doing, and to feed, they had a TMR mixer, which is like a big wagon, mixes all the food together. And then they would put it in little wheelbarrows. They'd put it in a wheelbarrow or like a cart, like a hand cart, and then take it into the barn and then dump it for all the cows. And they do that for 70 cows. Now, like a wheelbarrow, can you imagine how much that actually feed? Like that's like a cow's worth or something. It's like backbreaking work taking care of all of these animals. And now
that's like your daily task.
Yeah. And that it just took up everything like that they had. And then on top of that, they're also raising crops and they're doing these things and they have families. So now they're not going to be killing themselves to have these animals, and they might actually be able to expand because they have these new modern facilities where the cows are more comfortable and they're able to, spread manure once a month because they have the different, they have more storage, and then they can feed everything with the machine. And then now their kids, they don't know yet, but the opportunity would be there. Their kids could see themselves being at this farm. I mean, no one who wants to take over a farm where you're like killing yourself every day to do a job and not make very much money at it. But taking over a modern facility is probably more appealing.
Yeah. Man, it sounds like a cool story.
Yeah.
Everybody go check it out.
Yes, because it will be written when people are listening to this.
After this.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. I should have been typing while I was telling you about this.
You explained it really well, so.
I'm really excited about it. I've been putting it off, putting all the stuff into words.
Yeah, I've done that before.
Okay, so that'll be on the front page, and you'll see pictures of.
Yeah, did you get to go in the farm?
Yeah, twice.
Oh, that's really
the first day I went there for an open house, and it was raining to beat hell, so I didn't walk around. But then the farmer invited me back, and I don't live that far, so I went back last week and just hung out and talked to him, and it was a beautiful day, and it's really nice, and I got to see the cows and stuff. So
sick. Yeah, you got to see the whole layout.
Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, cool. So that's the other front page story.
Awesome. Well, Rachel, did you know that honey can also heal wounds?
Yes, on top of being a tasty treat to like put in my tea.
Yeah, well, I did not know that before this story.
Really?
Not really. Well, I read another story a few years ago, but like it was more of like, oh, okay, and then you forget about it, right? So this was like oh my God, And this week on the front of auction, I dove into the healing benefits of honey, as you have already maybe know a little bit about. Honey has been used as a medicine for centuries, dating all the way back to ancient times. This includes in ancient Egypt, where honey was the most popular drug, apparently. Often combined with wine and milk, which that's kind of an interesting drug.
Delicious.
It actually doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I like honey is like the best on its own too, but wow. And then Hippocrates. Yeah.
Is that it?
I don't know.
Don't judge us.
I meant to look up how to say it before this. Hippocrates might be it.
We've tried 3 different ones. One of these has got to be it.
I think everybody knows. They have to know. The famous Greek scientist.
Yes,
that we're talking
about.
That's who we're talking about.
Yes.
He was also a huge proponent of using honey as a medicine. He used it for baldness, wound healing, laxative action, coughing, and more. And yes,
baldness.
Yeah. I thought you were going to comment on the laxative action because that was just like a funny way to put that. I did not write that specifically that way.
That's quoted. Okay.
Yeah, that was from a study.
I'm just imagining slathering honey on a bald man's head.
I know.
And it would definitely attract things. I don't know if it would make hair grow or attract hair, but I can see it just would be so sticky.
Yeah, I don't think that one is necessarily proven to be. So bald men do not go, or bald anybody do not go.
We're not recommending it.
I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, I don't think it would hurt you, but you're probably wasting a lot of really good honey that you could just eat instead.
And it's so sticky.
Yeah.
I have small children, and it's like one of the most sticky substances known to man.
Yeah, that would be awful.
So do you could do what you want at your own house. We're just saying we're not
Don't
recommending it.
Yeah, don't do that part. But so you may kind of ask, why can honey be used as a medicine, right? What is so special about honey that it has all these abilities, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's because of its chemical makeup, including the amino acids, vitamins, and minerals in honey that really together just give it an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and antimicrobial properties.
That's cool.
Yeah. So honey can be used to help heal a number of ailments. But to read more about what that is, you can read the article because we're leaving you on a
Teaser.
cliffhanger.
Wow.
Yes, you got to read the article to heal, to heal, to hear how you can heal.
Paul's not here,
With
but
honey.
the wordplay continues.
Yes.
Don't worry, Paul.
Accidentally. Paul's is more intentional. Mine is
Completely accidental.
completely accidental. Yeah. But yeah. Anyways, go to farmandairy.com to read that. So
Okay. I guess what my story is next. Boy, not ready. I was so excited talking about the dairies, and you got me all amped up talking about.
I just forgot about the other exciting
Yes.
story.
Oh, okay. So here we go. This is kind of a good story, kind of a bad story. It's
Oh,
heartwarming.
not
It has
exciting.
a nice end, I guess.
Yeah.
So last week, a truck hauling a trailer load of newborn calves crashed into a creek in central Pennsylvania.
Newborn calves.
Yeah,
That's sad.
I thought it was an exaggeration when I read it, but I saw pictures. They were pretty little. So there was 106 calves in this trailer, and the guy was hauling them at night, I think. Yeah, the fire department responded to the call around 2 a.m. So they responded to this call. They found a truck and a livestock trailer overturned in a creek. It had gone off the road in Snyder County, Pennsylvania, over an embankment and then overturned in a creek. And the driver, luckily, was uninjured. They think that he fell asleep at the wheel, although it's not, it hasn't been proven like what the cause of the crash was. And about a quarter of the calves died
Man.
in the crash.
Sad.
However, that's only a quarter of 106, and I'm no good at math, but there's still a lot of calves still alive. So
That's good.
then the first responders are left figuring out how to get these calves out without further injuring them. Yeah, basically that, without further injuring them, because they'd already crashed over a creek. So once they got the truck out of the way, they thought about just moving the trailer up with all the calves in it, but then they figured that we can't do that because it'll hurt the calves. So they basically set up like there's a term for this, but they would pull the calves out and then pass them from one, like a bucket brigade, where they pass something one person to the next. So they were doing this with literal calves.
Wow.
And there's photos of it on our website that we got from the Shamokin Dam Fire Company of all these first responders
That's kinda
carrying
cool.
these calves. So they did this with every single. They just pulled a calf out, took it up, and they did that with dozens of calves. And they all lived, and then they got in another trailer and were taken to their destination
That's good.
at a
Were
facility
any
in
injured at all?
Maryland. I mean, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So they didn't report on that. But
Yeah.
the happy thing is all the nice photos of the calves being saved by the first
Yeah.
responders, although I'm sure it was extremely
cool.
stressful. But just for these guys to be called out in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. and to, hear about this car crash, and then they find it's a truck and it's a livestock trailer and there's all these calves, and then these people who aren't farmers dealing with, livestock on a daily basis, for them to figure out what to do and then just go do it and do it in like a timely manner. I mean, they had all the calves out in 90 minutes.
Wow. That's
which
pretty
is,
quick.
yeah, it is pretty impressive too. I mean, because the time was of the essence. So, yeah, that's literally the whole story. So there's no reason for you to go to our website and read it, but you should go to our website because the photos are there, and they're very, they're just really impactful. Like they're really, you could see the overturned trailer and the ladders they had going up this embankment, and the people carrying the calves. And there's one of a firefighter like kneeling down in all of his equipment, his helmet, and he's petting one of the calves. It's just very sweet.
That is really cool.
Yeah. So sad, but happy.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So everybody should go to the website, see the photo.
Yep.
At least. Cool. Okay. Well, I spy with my little eye an armadillo, and it is on the front page of Rural Marketplace this week. Yep. Jim Abrams is back. He never left, but he's back again this week with an interesting column he wrote about 2 armadillos recently found in Ohio, which he said he thought he would never write about. And I never thought I'd read about armadillos in the farm and dairy.
I didn't know that they were, I thought it was like a Texas, Oklahoma thing. I did not realize
I think it is.
how far north they were, but they really, even now they're
Yeah. Well, so
There's a few states between Oklahoma and Ohio. I'm no
Yeah.
expert. I'm not a geographer, but
well, actually, he gets into that. So,
okay.
according to Abrams, as you would expect, armadillos are not common in Ohio. You are right. They prefer warmer temperatures, and could actually die in colder temperatures. Yeah, I think
They don't have a lot of fur.
They just don't
Right.
really have a lot of like protection, I think, against cold, which is why they're more common in like I think they originally originated in South America and then kind of migrated up to some of the warmer states in the U.S. But yeah, the two armadillos found in Ohio were found by the Ohio Department of Natural Resources Division of Wildlife in the summer of 2021. Both were unfortunately dead when authorities found them, having been hit by traffic. So that's kind of sad.
In
But
wild, could you imagine if you hit an animal and then you saw
armadillo,
it later
yeah.
and you were like, "What is
That would
that? Is
probably
that
make
is that a like a hairless possum? Like what is that?" I wouldn't have
Yeah.
thought, "Oh, that's an armadillo. That's totally normal."
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting too, because like, what would you have seen on the road? You probably just would have saw the shell.
Yeah. Like
I
what
don't.
does it
Yeah, I
feel
don't.
like to hit an
Yeah,
armadillo?
it probably. Man, I don't really know. I don't really know if I want to know, to be honest.
It is
Um,
wild though that
yeah,
that's how they were
man,
discovered in the middle of the state instead of like on the bottom, the southern
yeah,
edge.
yeah. So, well, the officials believe the armadillos hitchhiked their way into the state by accident because they aren't common in Ohio. But it was really interesting because Abrams mentions that seeing an armadillo in the Midwest isn't as uncommon as you think. Kentucky and Indiana both have pretty stable populations, which was like kind of random.
That's wild.
Yeah, and now I have like the immense urge to ask the people I know in Kentucky, like, "Hey, have you guys seen an armadillo?"
They probably
Like,
have and they think it's totally normal.
yeah. Now I got to ask, but
I didn't know Indiana. That's pretty far north, right?
yeah, it is kind of north, right? And I would imagine it gets pretty cold. I mean, it gets relatively cold. I think it might be certain species of armadillo. I think it's the species that Abrams talks about that
Well, within
maybe.
our changing climate, things are getting warmer in areas
Yeah.
where they did not used to always be so warm. So maybe
So,
that will make armadillo populations spread
yeah,
a little bit
might
northwards.
have them in Pennsylvania and Ohio soon.
Wow, that would be weird.
That'd be weird. Too weird.
Okay.
Well, anyways, to learn more about that, the fascinating creatures that armadillos are, you can check out Jim Abrams' column this week in the paper or online. And
Okay.
that is our top stories for the week.
Thanks for
So,
joining us.
yeah. To read more stories, you guys should check out farmandairy.com or find your local newsstand.
Thanks for joining us. I don't know how else to end this. I'm new here.
We'll just end it like that.
Okay. Thanks, guys.